There we go. Hey, what's up, children? It's me.
How's it going? It's been a while, huh? Last upload was like what, 4 months ago? Well, suffice to say, a lot has happened since then. Starting with creating another channel to test things out, experience going to the ER and went for a CT scan for the first time in my life. It was also my first time seeing Ubuntu being used in the wild. Was about to ask if I can take a picture of the monitor at the nurse's station, but I got shy. I did ask and confirm if it was Ubuntu though. It has the same jellyfish and purple thing going on, and they said they have no idea. I also upgraded my PIR motion sensor controlled hallway light by adding another pair, which I had trouble with because the added light was not turning off even if it was working just fine during testing, and even after changing the added sensor and cable. Later on, I replaced it with the proper cable and have also replaced the PIR sensor with a different one which still did not work, but apparently, I didn't have to change anything. One of the mechanical relays that was supposed to switch the hallway light on or off was just stuck on the on position, and a few taps using a screwdriver fixed it. And yeah, I also bought a few well-deserved upgrades for my PC just a few days before the new year when the prices were still a bit cheaper.
But I digress, doesn't matter.
It's my PC's annual deep cleaning session today, and it's the perfect time to also install the upgrades, and I thought, why not make it a video? And that, I did. After cleaning, I'm going to replace the GPU, RAM, and PSU with the new ones, and before my workstation turns 7 years old on July, I'm most likely going to replace the AIO cooler, then probably the CPU and motherboard a few years after. Let's go! The plan is to remove the GPU first. Now, I'm not going to clean it just yet because that's for another video, so let's move on. I've thought of using it as a pass-through for my virtual machines, but well, due to space constraints, as you can see here, this is the only clearance I have because the second PCIe slot is entirely blocked and airflow would be severely restricted even if I can use the third one. Using it for either an HTPC or media server would also be a waste of time in this household because we have Netflix. I'm not the one paying for it though. In fact, I have set up a Jellyfin server on my PC for our living room smart TV years ago, and it was only used less than 50 times. I don't know. I guess they don't want free stuff. So selling my GPU then reusing it would probably be the best choice. After removing the GPU, I'm going to clean the front intake fans, back exhaust, AIO cooler, take out the RAM, motherboard, PSU, clean the case, then install the new stuff. Here's my old GPU with all its dust still intact. Okay, let's just put this one aside. Now, no need to be confused. This is still my X570 Aorus Master motherboard. I just removed the cover or fan grill thing of the chipset fan completely for easier access because I have no way of cleaning it if this thing is attached, and I can't put it back anymore. This is my Corsair RM750X power supply. I have thought of using it for a dedicated home server PC that I'm planning to build, but unfortunately, the biggest second PC that I can add is an SFF one, and this won't fit in that form factor. So I chose to sell and bundle it with a GPU, and I might as well add my old VZ239HR 23-inch IPS monitor as a freebie and use the money to add funds for either buying additional storage drives or building a DAS or a NAS. And just like with the new pair of monitors that I have purchased last year, you can check it out right here by the way, I have also requested to test both the PSU and GPU inside the store. Fun fact, I got them from the same store where I bought the parts from for my first major PC overhaul last 2019. Continuing on, this is the new PSU that would power my workstation. Focus GX850, an 850 watts 80 plus gold ATX 3.1 and PCIe 5.1 ready power supply from SEASONIC. Here are some of its specs. Inside the box is this Ziploc bag that contains an adequate amount of zip ties, Velcro straps for wear management, and the screws to secure the PSU to the case, the user manual, installation guide, and a chance to win a $50 Steam e-gift. Huh, interesting. I have no use for it though since I already have a lot of games and it's most likely just a way for them to collect data or personal info anyway. I mean, the keyword is chance. Winning is not guaranteed. So, you know. Yeah. This is the power supply tester. It's basically just an enclosure for shorting two pins, kind of like a safer version of the paperclip method. Yet another useful tool to add to the collection. Can't beat Gigabyte's G connector that simplifies the process of connecting front panel connectors though. This is the AC power cable and the power supply itself. Here's the on and off and hybrid mode switch. When unpressed, the fan speeds at high loads only and always spin when pressed. The modular power supply ports. And inside this pouch are the cables. These are quite unique, I think. Certainly my first time seeing something like this on a power supply cable. Not sure what the exact material is, but it's like each of them are wrapped in this braided rubber looking sleeves. And it's not just how it looks like, it actually has texture like it too. I think it's interesting how SEASONIC's GX850 is a tad bit shorter in length when compared side by side to Corsair's RM750X despite it being capable of supplying more wattage. Could be attributed to SEASONIC's new OptiSync design, but I don't know. So I have already cleaned the case, installed the motherboard, and the new PSU. Next up is to remove the old 4x8GB Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro CL60 3200 MHz DDR4 RAM and replace them with these 4x60GB GSKILL Strategy Neo CL60 3200 MHz DDR4 RAM. Seems like they were made last June 2025. Look at them! They're beautiful! The plan for these RAM sticks is to not sell them and just keep them for now, because I might do something with them. Coincidentally, their serial numbers are also aligned, because this one ends with 371, this is 372, 373, and 374. After installing the RAM, now it's time to add the AIO cooler. And here we are. The AIO cooler is installed, and this is my new GPU, Gigabyte's GeForce RTX 5070 Ti Gaming OC with 16GB of VRAM. I have honestly thought of switching to an AMD GPU this time. However, unfortunately, despite AMD GPUs being well supported on Linux, results on how they perform can be a hit or miss when it comes to DaVinci Resolve. So, instead of me purchasing one without any idea if it works great with DaVinci Resolve in my distro or not, I went and purchased an NVIDIA GPU as a comfort pick. Let me explain. I have an NVIDIA GPU right now, and it works as expected with DaVinci Resolve and my distro. Picking a GPU that can, or might, work is out of the question. These things are expensive, and it would be a hassle to return and extremely disappointing if it turns out that the AMD GPU that I purchased do not work well with Resolve or have a lot of quirks. On another note, I picked one from Gigabyte because my past two GPUs, GTX 1050 Ti and RTX 2070, were also from Gigabyte. Heck, my motherboard is also from Gigabyte and they haven't failed me just yet. Continuing on, hold up, let me just take out the box inside the main box. Ooh! God damn, this is heavy! Inside the box, we are greeted by the warranty and some info card inside this envelope that I thought was a CD. Here's the included metal anti-sag stand or bracket. The 12 volts adapter. See, this is actually one of the reasons why I purchased a new PSU instead of using my old one despite it still being able to provide power to this GPU. Because with the old one, I'd have to use 3 PCIe power connectors instead of just a single cable. Less points of failure as they say. Now I'm going to put this back because I'm not going to use it. Here's the absolute unit of a GPU. Holy shit, this is massive. Look at that! It's like two of my GPUs stacked on top of each other.
Damn!
After some protective plastic peeling porn, let's gently install it onto the first PCIe slot. There we go. Now before we install the front intake and back exhaust fans, let's see if it would turn on first. Perfect! It's kind of comical just how huge this thing is though. Good thing I know that it would fit, because despite my case being big, I made a sort of mock-up of it using cardboard, because arts and craft is my passion. And it's posting. BIOS wise, I didn't need to change anything because as far as my motherboard is concerned, I'm still using the same components. In conclusion, it may not seem like it, but I've actually thought hard about this. Since switching to Linux, I've been using virtual machines more and more. I provide about 2 to 4 GB of RAM for a typical VM, and with 64 GB of RAM, I can even open a few instances while gaming or video editing. From my experience, DaVinci Resolve can eat up quite a lot of RAM too, especially when smart caching is enabled. 128 GB of RAM sure is nice, but due to how much it would cost, I chose a 64 GB instead. And as to why I chose an RTX 5070 Ti instead of a 5080, well, if I choose an RTX 5080, I definitely need to upgrade my CPU since a 5080 is too powerful for my 3900X, and that would require me to spend more, which I don't want to. So yeah.
Please like and hit the button with the word subscribe on it. That's it.
Thanks for watching and see you again next week. Maybe.